J.Y. Park, singer, songwriter, dancer, and businessman. The man is one of the most successful musicians in Korea's music industry, and dare I say, the world? Okay, maybe not that much. Or maybe. Today, we're going to look at JYP's humble beginnings all the way to his success. In a world where new artists are constantly debuting, is JYP still relevant in the music industry? Spoiler alert, yeah, he's very important. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let's start from the beginning. This is the JYP story. Park Jin-young was born in Seoul, Korea on December 13th, 1971. His father was a news correspondent, and at the age of 9, Park moved to New York for 3 years before returning to Seoul for high school. In 1992, Park became part of a group appropriately named Park Jin-young and the New Generation, with the backing of the producer Kim Cho-soo, a famous singer in the 1970s and 80s. Unfortunately, they didn't meet commercial success. The next 2 years, he continued to audition for multiple music companies in hope of getting his big break. He had auditioned for SM Entertainment, the most evil talent agency in Korea. I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. As I was saying, he auditioned for SM Entertainment, but he was turned down because he didn't fit the appearance they were looking for. I hate to say it, but it was the politically correct version of them saying he was ugly, which is complete BS. The man is very charismatic, so that alone should have been enough for him to join SM. And like I said before, if I'm being honest, he dodged a bullet because SM Entertainment is just a terrible place, so I've heard. While he continued looking for a talent agency, he continued to work as a back dancer and eventually joined the crew of Kim Gun-mo after he was discovered by his producer at a nightclub. He made his first debut as a solo artist in 1994 with his album Blue City, and the main track being Don't Leave Me. The song was a hit, and it ranked number 1 in the music charts for 2 weeks. His other track, Don't Leave Me, was also very popular. I mean, it wasn't as popular as Don't Leave Me, but it did show off his musical range. This pushed JYP from being a dancer to a K-pop star. He continued climbing up the ladder of popularity and released Tantura in 1995 and Summer Jingle Bell. Although I am a fan of J.Y. Park, before making this video, I wasn't really familiar with any of his songs before 1999, but I am amazed to see even from the beginning of his debut, he always maintained a funk aspect to his music. If you guys have watched some of my previous videos, you should already know that I love funk. I just love it. I especially liked Elevator because he fused pop, funk, and hip hop all into one song. I only know basic Korean, but I have to admit the rapping in this song is on point. Then listening to his hit song, She Was Pretty, from his third album, Summer Jingle Bell, dude, I was blown away. The combination of funk and disco really just, God, I can't even explain it, just blew me away. Honestly, when listening to J.Y. Park's early work, it's easy to recognize where modern K-pop took their influence from, especially within JYP's company. Of course, during the 90s, JYP was unique compared to the other active artists out there, and that's what gave him such appeal. He was truly ahead of his time. Outside of creating his own music, he was producing for other companies and artists. In 1997, JYP founded Tae-hong Planning Corporation. This company would later evolve into JYP Entertainment. Coincidentally, that same year, he worked with the talent agency EBM, which would later become Sida's HQ, in preparing group members for their future debut. They would later be known as GOD. And because of their huge success, this only elevated JYP's notoriety. In 1998, JYP released his fourth album, Even After 10 Years, and his hit single, Honey.
Oh, honey.
This is only a personal opinion, but I believe this is his most popular song to date. One of the first songs I heard by JYP was Honey. The funny thing is, I heard this song indirectly. This song was featured in Wonder Girl's music video Nobody, which is a group that JYP created years later in 2007. Not only was the song itself catchy, but for Korean citizens, the beginning of the song featured a funny intro starring female comedian Jung Si-hee. Along with a fun introduction, JYP's dance moves are heavily influenced from Michael Jackson. The song never reached number 1 in the music charts, but it's often performed by other singers. It's even been used for a reality TV show currently airing in Japan, The Niji Project. But don't worry, we'll get to that later. In 1999, Park received the SBS Grand Prize for Composer of the Year. Outside of SBC's prize, JYP received awards from KBS, Seoul Music Awards, and other groups for Best Composer of the Year, Best Video, and Best Producer of the Year. At this time, he would take a 3-year break from releasing music to continue working on his company. The year was 2001, and JYP made his comeback with his 6th album release, Game, with Swing Baby and I Have a Woman being his main hits. Over time, his image changed from singer to producer and manager. He made groups such as Wonder Girls, 2PM, Miss Say, and most recently, Twice and ITZY. Now, I don't want to sound like a fanboy, but JYP is never afraid of a challenge. Despite being a successful producer in Korea, in 2004, he took a chance on producing for musicians in America. He successfully produced music for Will Smith, Mace, and then Casey.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Now granted, no one is going crazy for Will Smith or Casey in 2020. But in 2004 it was a big deal, especially considering he was the first Asian producer to accomplish this feat. Personally, I believe this comes from his deep understanding of Western style music. You may have noticed that JYP had a recurring theme in most of his songs. They all have some form of funk and R&B inspired sound to them. Of course, there were some exceptions, but for the most part, his base was funk and R&B. While riding the success he was accumulating, in 2007 he expanded his company by opening an office in New York City and later Beijing. In 2007, JYP went back to working on his musical career and released Back to Stage, the title track being The House That You Live In. In 2009, JYP unfortunately went through a divorce and as a result, wrote a song for the album Sad Freedom with a subtle title named No Love, No More.
No love, no more.
Throughout the 2010s, JYP released several singles, his most notable songs being You're the One, Who's Your Mama, and his most recent in 2019, Fever. So, we've gotten to know the man, at least his musician side. I could talk about his personal life, but it's really all about the music. Man, when I say that, I really do sound like a hippie. So let's switch gears and take a look at the businessman. J.Y. Park's music company, JYP Entertainment. The intricacies of JYP Entertainment are frankly very confusing. We have JYP Creative, JY Pictures, and the list goes on. And while all of these subsidiaries are important in their own way, there is no way I can talk about each one of them individually without this video being over an hour long. But I digress. In 1997, before there was JYP Entertainment, there was Tae Hong Planning Corporation, with their first artist being Pearl. Pearl released her debut album, Sunflower. Unfortunately, I couldn't find much more about Pearl. Not even Korean Wikipedia had information on this woman. Fortunately, JYP's next singer had significantly more mainstream success. In December 2000, JYP signed Rain as a trainee and made his debut in 2002. He was a big success in and outside of Korea. In Korea, he was famous as a musician. But overseas, he got some recognition for playing Raizo in the 2009 movie Ninja Assassin. And thanks to his amazing physique, that apparently piqued the interest of some very thirsty women. And then JYP Entertainment had the nerves to release Love Song in 2010. Come on, JYP Entertainment. You knew exactly what you were doing. Do you know how creepy it is seeing your mom getting excited over some dude doing a body roll? That shit gave me trauma for at least 3 months. Every day, I had to hear her talk about him as if he were some kind of fresh kimchi. Well, I ain't gonna take this. Other groups during that time were Park Ji-yoon, Newell, and G.O.D. G.O.D. was technically established in 1999, but didn't join JYP Entertainment until 2004. It wasn't until May 2006 that JYP formed its first girl group, Wonder Girls, and was the first South Korean group to enter the Billboard Hot 100 in 2009 with their song, Nobody, ranking at 76. Throughout the 2010s, JYP Entertainment went through a ton of business ventures. Honestly, it gets really confusing and a little boring, so I'll keep it brief. It's still important to have a general idea of business that goes down with any company, right? So, do you remember Rain? Well, he actually created a subsidiary company called J-Tune Entertainment in 2007, and 3 years later, JYP Entertainment acquired them. Another subsidiary company, AQ Entertainment, was also formed and gave us the girl group Miss A. Oh yeah, remember how I mentioned JYP expanded his business in Beijing and New York? Well, while Beijing was going strong, the New York branch, JYP Creative, was going through some tough times and was losing money. Eventually, they just closed down. As I mentioned before, JYP Entertainment isn't only a record label and a talent agency. Over the years, they have expanded into other forms of entertainment, such as movies and TV shows, but we won't focus on these since most of the movies and TV shows aren't related to music. However, there is one show that I would like to talk about, the Niji Project. The Niji Project is a collaboration between Sony Music Japan and JYP Entertainment in search of creating a new girl group. Part 1 aired in February 2020, and Part 2 premiered in April. Think of it being like American Idol, but less overdramatic. Well, it has its dramatic moments, but it comes off a lot more genuine than American Idol, and there's only one judge, the man himself, J.Y. Park. With the occasional appearance from girl group Twice. If you're interested in these styles of shows, I highly recommend it. I'm unsure if it's airing overseas with English subtitles, but I do know you can watch it on Japanese Hulu. I'm going to assume it's an American Hulu, but correct me if I'm wrong. And even if you can't find it on Hulu, there is a dedicated group of people out there providing translations for the show. Not me though. I ain't got time for that. Before we wrap up this video, there is one more thing I'd like to talk about, and that is ITZY, JYP's latest girl group. While I love ITZY, I can't help but notice a huge departure from JYP Entertainment's musical style. In the past, many of JYP's groups had some form of R&B and funk. With ITZY, it seems to combine American pop and Korean pop. For example, imagine Kesha mixed with Hyuna. A great example would be Icy. But this isn't a review on ITZY, it's just an observation I made. And although I understand this is the concept that the group is going for, I'm somewhat sad that it sounds like most K-pop groups out there. I also feel this way about Twice, but to a lesser extent. There are some songs that maintain the R&B feel, such as Twice's Feel Special. But I will admit, it's hard for me to judge Twice since I always felt they fit more as a J-pop group, but that's because they're all over Japan. It's amazing to see how far JY Park has come since 1992. Despite being turned down because of his appearance, he never gave up. It really goes to show that with great determination, anything is possible. As of 2020, with the success of his new TV show, girl groups, and personal music endeavors, I don't even have any suggestions on how to improve his career. I know his bread and butter are girl groups, but I would love to see him work with more boy groups outside of GOT7. But knowing JYP, he is probably working on that as we speak. Okay everyone, another video down. What do you think about JYP? I love the man, I think he makes amazing music. I'm just happy to see that he's gaining the recognition he deserves. For those who do know JYP, what's your favorite song by him? And who's your favorite JYP group? Or artist, it doesn't have to be a group, it can be a solo artist as well. Anyway, if you liked the video, please give it a like, and to see more videos in the future, please subscribe and ring that bell so you can get notified. And as always, enjoy life, enjoy music. Peace.